Hi guys, welcome to my channel that is Learning with Fun. Today, as you know, we finished five sessions of separation of substances. This is our sixth video, and in the sixth video, we're going to discuss from the NCERT textbook. So, for like all these five sessions, I made the PPT and you were discussing those PPT. But for this, we are going to see from the textbook itself. Now, separation of substances, the fifth chapter on your NCERT textbook. So, I'll just show you the chapter, and if you don't have the chapter with you, you can take a click off it. And at the end of the chapter, I'm gonna upload all the videos in the description box, and then with the NCERT chapter link. I want you to read all these summaries for all chapters, and then you should solve out these exercises and then send or send solve out the exercises and keep it with you, and then I'm going to discuss answers so you can and then you read the suggested projects and activities and then things to see and it all. We're going to see everything. So let's move on the beginning of the chapter. So there are many instances when we notice a substance being separated from a mixture of materials. These are separated from the liquid by a strainer while preparing. Grain is separated from stalks. See, this is just the introduction. So this I'll release from activity 1. I'll start explaining from activity 1. So grain is separated from stalks while harvesting. Milk or curd is churned to separate butter. As we learned in chapter 3, we gin cotton to separate its seeds from the fiber. Perhaps you might have eaten salted dalia or poha. If you found that it had chilies in it, you may have carefully taken them out before eating. Suppose you are given a basket containing mangoes and guavas and asked to separate them. What will you do? Pick out one kind and place them in a separate container, right? Seems easy, but what if the materials you want to separate are much smaller than the mango or guava? Imagine you are given a glass of sand with salt mixed in it. Impossible. Even to think of separating salt from this mixture by picking out grains of sand by hand. So activity 1. In column 1 of table 5.1. So in column 1 of table 5.1, we discussed it in our PPT. You can refer to the answer, right? You are given a few processes of separation. The purpose of separation and the way separated components are used in mentioned in column 2 and 3 respectively. However, the information given in columns 2 and column 3 is jumbled up. Can you match easily the processes with its purpose and the way separated components are used? We can see that before we use a substance, we need to separate harmful or non-useful substances that may be mixed with it. Sometimes we separate even useful components if we need to use them separately. The substances to be separated many may be of different particles or different size of these materials. So, materials. These may be solid, liquids, or even gases. So, how do we separate substances mixed together if they have so many properties? So, this was just the introduction of chapter, fun of chapter, but now we are going to go with methods of separation. And now I'm going to start telling you. The activities which were given are the things which were given in the PPT, and I explained you. I'm not going to explain it again as we are going to waste our time because all the videos and it all are uploaded in the YouTube. You can view them and then you can just view them and easily. You can see the explanation as well. So I just zoomed it a bit. So methods of separation 5.1 chapter 5 part. We will discuss some simple methods of separating substances that are mixed together. You may come across some of these methods being used in day-to-day activities. So the first method that is I'll highlight it, and that is hand picking. Hand picking activity number 2. Bring a packet of grain purchased from a shop to the classroom. We saw this activity, so you have to bring whatever it is, bring a grain from a shop to a classroom or wherever. Now spread the grain on a sheet of paper. Take a sheet of paper, any sheet of paper like any A4 size, any color paper. Waste better you take a waste one is more better. Take a sheet of paper. Now spread the grain on a sheet of paper. Will you find only one kind of grain on a sheet of paper? Are there pieces of stones, hugs, broken grain, and particles of the other grain in it? Yeah. Now remove this with the the pieces of these stones, hugs, and other grains from it. Right. So the method of hand picking can be used for separating slightly larger size impurities like the pieces of dirt, stone, and husk from wheat, rice, and pulses. So you hope you understood that. The quantity of such impurities is usually not very large. In such situations, we find that hand picking is a convenient method of separating substances. Now, in one thing, I'll just show you. I'll show you how this activity, in one video, right? You can see how. So we finished. See, for better, we are going to read the chapter and we are only going to discuss the important points. But for these exercise and the did you know and that facts, I'm gonna explain it to you so that you understand more, and then it will be easy for you to learn. Okay. So threshing. We move on to the activity of threshing. You must have seen bundles of wheat or paddy stalks lying in field after harvesting the crop. Stalks are dried in the sun before the grain is separated from them. Each stalk has many grain seeds attached to it. Imagine the number of grain seeds in hundreds of bundles of stalks lying in a field. How does the farmer separate grain seeds from those bundles of stalks? One may pluck mangoes or guavas from the trees, but grain seeds are much smaller than mangoes or guavas, so plucking them from the stalks would be impossible. How does one separate it from the stalks? The process that is used to separate the grain is known as threshing. In this process, the stalks are beaten up to any hard surface to separate the grains. So this mixture on a place this mix. Sometimes threshing is done with the help of bullocks. Machines are also used to thresh large quantities of grain. Now you're going to see what is winnowing. Activity 3. Make a mixture of sand with a sawdust or powdered dry leaves. Keep this mixture on a plate or a paper. Look at this mixture carefully. Can the two different components be made out easily? Are the sizes of particles of these two components similar? Would it be possible to separate the components by hand picking? Now take your mixture to an open ground and stand on a raised platform. Put a mixture in a plate or sheet of paper. Hold the plate or sheet of the paper containing the mixture at your shoulder height. Tilt it slightly so that the mixture slides out slowly. What happens? Do both the components sand and sawdust fall at the same place? Is there a component that blows away? Did the wind manage to separate the two components? This method of separating components of a mixture is called winnowing. Winnowing is used to separate heavier and lighter components of a mixture by wind or by blowing it. So the method you just see and just this is an important point. The method of separating components of a mixture is called winnowing. So what is winnowing? The method of separating components of a mixture is called winnowing. So this method is commonly used by farmers to separate lighter husk particles underlying this point from heavier grain or seeds. The husk particles are carried away by the wind. The seeds of grains get separated and form a heap near the platform of grain. The separated husk is used for many purposes such as fodder for cattle. Now over here, you have to learn this back. This is how does the winnowing works. Question come, you have to answer this. Is that clear? If you have any doubts, you can comment. I'll definitely feel happy to answer your doubts. So you should take this, right? Okay, so I'll highlight all the important points in this chapter. Right, so here I told you this point is important, and then we have this point. Just go through this point, and then machines are also used, and threshing is done with the help of bullocks. Just you should go with these points, and then hand picking. You just go how to use the hand picking method. Just you should learn this method. Right? Just learn these methods, right? Okay, and now we'll move on to the last part of today's class. That means today's session video, which is sieving. We're just seeing today this much till sieving. And next we are gonna see the next part. So let's go with sieving. Sometimes we need to prepare a dish with a flour. We need to remove impurities and bran that may be present in it. What do? We use a sieve and pour a flour to it. So you can just get to see this one. It may come like what we have to do to separate this with flour. Then not the dish with flour, the brands and the all things impurities in it. What do we use to separate? Right? Just zoom it a bit. Sorry. Yes. Sieving allows the fine flour particles to pass through the holes of the sieve, while the bigger part impurities remain on the sieve. This is an important point. What does sieving do? We don't need this part. Yes. Now enough Roman impurities like husk and stones are removed. Husk and stones are removed from the wheat before grinding it. So before grinding in the husk and that all are removed from the wheat. And then usually a bag full of wheat is poured on a slanted sieve. The sieving allows that all things to, that means will remain after the wheat after threshing and milling, but the sieving is the done. You just see this point, go through this point. Now to separate pebbles and stones from sand. Now I want to tell you one more thing, that what method is used in a construction site for separating pebbles and stones from the sieving. Okay. So today we are only going to see till here, right? So activity 4 is not so important. Bring a sieve and a small quantity of flour from house to the class. Sieve the flour to separate all the impurities in it. Now make a fine powder of chalk pieces and mix it with the flour. Can we separate the flour and powdered chalk by sieving? Sieving is used when the components of mixture have different sizes. Now this point is important. So hope it is clear to all of you, and whatever doubts you have, you can post in the comment box, and I'll feel happy to solve them. And then have a great year 2021 ahead. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my video. Hit the bell icon for more.